Angie. I come from France. I live in Antibes. I come from. I like chocolate and Coca-Cola. My favorite color is purple.
That's purple. That's not purple. Chocolate.
Hello, my name is Angie. I come from France. I live in Antibes.
The iPAC results are the survey tool, which helps us to analyze a practice that we have designed ourselves, or we could ask others to look at a practice we created so that we can have a professional discussion.
So while it is difficult to share a look at these on the Padlet, I've made a little presentation that might be easier to use. And we are going to have a look at these results. So lower score.
Discuss the work online with their friends, peers. So, I mean, that may have been true, but I couldn't tell from the video if they discussed online or, I mean, because with my experience of projects like this is that the students at that age only do what they're told, and maybe they weren't specifically instructed to do that. So
we'll come back to that point when we talk about agency. Yeah.
Okay, and then discuss the work online with people they don't know. Again, I didn't know the answer to that one because obviously wasn't there. But it would have been good if they had done that. And I can imagine something like that would have happened. Whether that was a NASA scientist or not, I don't know. No?
Probably not.
John has some contacts there. But yeah, great idea. Both of all those points. I mean, if I was there, I would have given them a lot higher scores. And which actually, when I did this to begin with, I thought that it was asking questions about my own case, and I gave 3 of those the top score in my own case.
Okay, in your own case, because you would have done all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was the main coordinator really. So okay. Yeah. Thank you.
And then Valentina, you actually gave it a low score on C3 and a higher score on C1. Could you explain why you did that?
I'm muting. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I actually found that probably, as Bruce was saying, I was not there, you know, so I didn't actually see the kids interacting. But I had the feeling they were not actually interacting as a group. Okay, but it was more individual, focused on the individual, you know. So they actually had to perform something there and you know, perform a task. But I saw it as more as an individual task than, you know, a collaborative task, because they actually had to introduce themselves instead of, you know, making a connection, trying to make a connection with others. Probably because they were very young. They are actually very young, you know. So the first thing they do is they just, you know, talk about themselves, because that word is themselves at that age, I think. You know, so that's why I gave them this lower score. On the other side, I found that they were young, but they were very comfortable with the tool. You know, they were feeling comfortable, you know, recording and, you know, checking the others' work. So, yeah.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Space. Is that because they're just both in a classroom and it's a real space, or why did you score A2 quite high?
Learned in realistic virtual space. Probably something along those lines, yes. they were all in a class together, so they had their peers looking at them, and the exchange was there, so it seemed quite realistic in my opinion. Yeah, it wasn't. There were 2 or 3 sections where it looked like the students had taken maybe they were recording from home, from their own home. I guess that was also realistic too. I don't know, maybe it was a different classroom or somewhere else in the school. Yeah, but that was one reason why I did that. Yeah.
Okay. When we talk about subject teaching, of course, a science simulation, there the learning has a different meaning, I think. But for language learning, I would say that using Skype is a realistic environment.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
And of course,
so then, so that could also relate to AU1 then, learned in a place suggested by the topic. Where are you having conversations on Skype? Where are you introducing yourself?
Yeah. Or the tool is realistic. Let's put it that way.
Okay, then let's have a look at the very last one. The task. Apparently drew something on here earlier. The task. They worked like an expert. They participated in real-world activities, and they learned serendipitously in an unplanned way. So they worked like an expert. We said, yeah, sort of. They collected data. They did. It wasn't using GPS, but they did collect data. They looked at the videos and wrote some down what they learned. Participated in real-world environment. We scored a little bit less high, but I guess that relates to the earlier topic as well. Then they learned serendipitously, and I guess that relates to the agency part again as well. When it is set what they need to say, and we don't really know how their learning was supported. Were they just given the sentences to translate, or were they asked to think, okay, what would you say about yourself when you're introducing yourself to somebody? So I thought A6 is a little bit difficult to really judge, even though it's a crucial one.
Mm-hmm.
7.
Yeah, it's also difficult from 3 minutes of video to this.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
I mean, for instance, again, the guy that mentioned his name and spelled it, it may well be that some other student colleague had picked up, hey, you say H for or A and B, etc. Well, never mind.
Of course, there's a lot of learning you can you can never plan for, and that's always happening. But it's fun to think about the ways that you can design the task to make learning happen serendipitously, and then I guess it would be more open. But then again, depending on the age, what are you really expecting there?
I have a question, Suzanne.
Sure.
So what you're saying is that these students were not told what to say. They were just told to introduce themselves.
No, I'm guessing they are.
No, they've just practiced the content needed. The linguistic means have been practiced.
I see. Okay. But then they could have said that they liked unicorns or whatever they else, right?
If they had taken the initiative to ask Miss, what is so-and-so in English, yes.
Okay. But usually what happens, in my experience anyway, is that when one student has started, all the others will pretty much say something similar.